but I'm the manager of education and homework support. We are in the main library downtown on the first floor of the north building. We do a variety of different things. You can reach out to us through email at alc@cincinnatilibrary.org, or of course you can call the number 369-6900 and they'll connect you to our department, the Adult Learning Center. We are continuing to do My Librarian appointments, helping people with their job resumes, their applications. We're still doing ESOL conversational groups through Zoom. And then we have some digital resources for reading and math as well that we'd love to share with you. But today, and I'm glad you still stuck around, we are going to focus on citizenship and how to prepare an individual, either yourself or someone that you know, for US citizenship. We're going to go to 3 different web resources that the library has. And the first one is HelpNow Adult Learning Center, and then the Testing and Education Reference Center. And the last one we're going to go visit is Universal Class. All 3 of those resources actually will help you prepare for the whole process of getting US citizenship. So let's go ahead and dive in, and hopefully everything will work this time. Let's go ahead and go right in. And with our Lunch and Learn, we have arrived at the Public Library of Cincinnati and Hamilton County's website. And you can find that at cincinnatilibrary.org. And we are going to go to the e-branch eventually in just a few minutes, and we're going to go down to e-learning. But before we do that, we're going to go over here to the search bar. And I've already typed in US citizenship. And then you would click over here to this site and then hit the button. First thing that will come up will be government resources of citizenship and immigration. And on this site, what we did was we put together 3 websites that would be very helpful for anyone who's searching this material. The bottom site is the U.S. Department of State, the State Department, and that is for U.S. citizens that might want to have information about passports, about visas, about travel. Those are a very good site for that purpose. Now, this site right here, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, that site right here is going to be the official web page for the Bureau of Citizenship and Immigration Services. And they will give you all the forms, the legal guides, everything that you'll need. And what they did was they actually created the top website, which is Citizenship Resource Center. You have to say that kind of slow, I think, just to make sure. But there it is, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. And much like the library, their offices are temporarily closed, and we are temporarily closed at the library. However, we are still providing a whole bunch of services, not just this Lunch and Learn, but our virtual story times. We've got some STEM activities that are also for kids, and we're thinking of more and more programs that we can do through the computer. But we also have our e-content, e-books, and e-audio, and of course all of the resources that we have through our e-branch. But their website is divided up to 3 different ways: learners, educators, and organizations. Organizations that provide practice, preparation for U.S. citizenship. And we at the library and the Adult Learning Center, we occasionally have U.S. citizenship classes, and we will have them in the future. But if you are an organization or thinking about doing that, this is a great resource here. And you can even find some grant money. They have a grant program that's very highly successful. Now, if you're an educator, this is a great time right now for professional development. They have wonderful lesson plans that you can go to. And I would highly recommend this source for any teachers of U.S. citizenship. But we're really focused on the learners and the people that are going to try to help us, an individual, become a U.S. citizen. And this is where we want to go. Should you consider becoming a U.S. citizen? And these are all the different things that you would be able to do if you became a U.S. citizen. You'd be able to vote. You'd be able to serve on a jury. You'd travel with a U.S. passport. You could even bring family members to the U.S. There's all of these other ones that are listed here as well. And a lot of times people want to say, okay, well, that's great, but I don't know what the process is. What's the process? And sometimes people say naturalization. Well, let me read this first sentence. Naturalization is the way that a person not born in the United States voluntarily becomes a U.S. citizen. And that's important for you to understand that that's what naturalization stands for, is that that's the process to become a U.S. citizen. Now, there are some eligibility requirements. You have to be at least 18 years of age by the time that you file. And they've put the form, and the form is N-400. They've put the link to the form right here for you. And there's a couple of things that you can do. You can click on the link, print out the form, or you can fill out the form electronically as well. You have to have been a permanent resident for at least 5 years. That means you have to have your green card. And there's all of these other requirements as well. We're going to kind of focus on the last several. And what they did on this website, they kind of created an entire pathway. So you start out here where you're at least, you find out if you are eligible, you're 18, and then you keep moving along the pathway. But we're going to kind of focus on these three right here. We're going to focus on how you can learn more about the U.S. Constitution. You will have to demonstrate your ability to read, write, speak, and understand basic English. And of course, you will have to demonstrate a basic knowledge of U.S. history, government, and civic principles. So those are the things that we're going to focus in on today as well. Now, one thing that's not listed on this page, but I want to take a time just to mention it very briefly. Currently, the cost to apply for U.S. citizenship is $725. Now, the application fee alone is $640, and then they have an $85 fee that is for biometric service fee. And that is the fee that's going to do some electronic searches, some fingerprinting, your photo, your electronic signature. So I think just to make sure that everyone is on the same page, when you apply, you have to make sure that you have $725 for the application. So I just thought I'd throw that in right now because sometimes people don't understand that. Now, we're going to go one more on this page, study for the test. Now, there's several different parts of the test. There's a speaking test, a reading test, a writing test, and a civics test. And there's also an interview. And during the interview, you're going to be asked to demonstrate some of these as well. So this is a really good website right here to get some study materials for the English test and get some study materials for the civics test as well. All right, I will click back. So once again, this has a whole bunch of information for the learner, but we're here today to go back one more. And remember, we actually searched citizenship up here, and then we came to this website, and that's that Citizenship Resource Center. But we're going to go to eBranch, and we're going to go to eLearning. And we're actually going to go over to 3 different sites today. We're going to go to BrainFuse like we did last Thursday. And we're going to go to Universal Class and also to Testing and Education Reference Center. All 3 of these websites have helpful information for someone who's preparing for U.S. citizenship. So we're going to first go to BrainFuse. And we're going to click in with our library card. Remember, if you don't have a library card, you can call our number, our Virtual Information Center, which is locally based. That number is 513-369-6900, and you can sign up and get a library card. Now this is BrainFuse HelpNow. This site right here is mainly for kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade with expert help, study, and collaboration. But we're going to come over here to the adult learners. Click right there. And that's where we were last week, and it's the Adult Learning Center. And we're going to make sure that we're logged in. We did go over high school equivalency last week, so you can look in the feed and you can, if you're interested in that, we went over that last week. We're going to actually go to prepare for U.S. citizenship test, but we're going to log in first. We're going to click right up here. Now, of course, I have a login, but I'm going to just click here to show you how easy it is to sign up for any of our electronic resources. You just have to put your username, your password, and then move on. You have to create those. And a lot of times I have the same username and password for a lot of these. So we're going to go ahead and click in, and then we'll prepare for the U.S. citizenship test. Now, they've divided it up to 3 different sections. You've got study, you've got get help, and you've got take tests. We're going to go here to study materials here first. And here are a whole bunch of resources on the test. Here's a whole bunch of citizenship links, vocabulary flashcards. You've got civics flashcards. You've got sample questions that they will ask. You even have a video becoming a U.S. citizen, which is really helpful. If you click here, it's going to take us back to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services website. And this entire video right here will tell you about the whole process that will go. It's a really good video, not too long, but it definitely, you can stop it, start it, replay it as many times just to understand the full process, because we don't have enough time to go into all of the process. But I'm going to click back, and then we will move over here. We will move over here to get help. Now, getting help, you can have help. Live tutors are available 7 days a week from 2 in the afternoon until 11 at night. And when you are in the Adult Learning Center and you have already clicked on the United States Citizenship Test, when you click on Live Tutor here, the live tutor will actually see that you are in trying to learn how to become a U.S. citizen. You're preparing for that citizenship test. And when you click on that, it's going to open up to a whiteboard almost, where you have tools in the bottom and you'll have a chat feature on the side, and you'll be able to communicate with the tutor back and forth and ask questions, and that will help prepare you. And they'll even give you some questions along the way. There is take tests over here. We can click here to take a test. And you'll notice I already have clicked on take a test. There's a total of 10 tests that they have. And just to start the test, you just click here. And you have to answer the questions. And they're just each test that they have, and there's a total of 10 of them, they have 10 questions each. So that's a great way to prepare all of those 100 questions that they could possibly ask you. This is a shorter way to prepare for that. And you just click through and you answer the question. They'll give you a nice score at the end to see if you are ready and prepared to go in for your interview and take your test. So that was the education, the Adult Learning Center on BrainFuse HelpNow. We're going to click back. Now what we're going to do, we're going to spend a little time on this one, which is the Testing and Education Reference Center. And once again, I've already put in my library card, so it's going to show up already. But if you would click on that website by itself, you would see that it is just, you'd have to put in your library card again. Now, we are in a future Lunch and Learn, we're going to definitely go over Testing and Education Reference Center. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. But for our purposes today, we're going to go to International. We just put our mouse over the word International, and you'll see the third one down is U.S. Citizenship. So with U.S. citizenship, there's two different things that are on here. There's an online practice test, and there's also an online book. And everyone in the Hamilton County and the state of Ohio could check out this book and have access to it all the time. All you have to do is log in to Testing Education Reference Center, and you'd have access to this book all the time. Let's take a look at the book. I'm going to hit Start Now. And it's in PDF form. I'm going to hit submit because I had to log in on that one as well. Once again, very easy. Create a simple login and simple password. That's why I usually use the same login and password for all of the e-learning logins. It just is a little bit easier way to manage it. Now this is actually 256 pages long. It has a really extensive table of contents. Will work you all the way through the process. And then it also has some practice tests along the way too. And it's just very helpful. You'll see all of that right there. You can download it onto your device and you can have that access all the time for U.S. citizenship books. So that ebook is always available to you. Now, we also on Testing Education Reference Center have a practice test for U.S. citizenship. And remember, it's going to help assess U.S. history, government, civics. We're going to start now. And here it comes. And when you see this, you'll notice that year 2020 is down here at the bottom. It's loading in, but Peterson is very good about updating their materials all the time. Later on, this year there were supposed to be some more civic questions. There were going to be some more questions added, but that's been pushed back because of the pandemic. And you'd expect some new questions to appear next year at the beginning of 2021. And also there is an opportunity, there is a possibility that the fee would come up from $725 to a higher fee, but that has not been determined yet. But all the questions that are on this practice test, you can just click right here. There's 100 questions on this one, and you just click, and I can resume the test. And they're just going to show you a bar as you go along. You can review, answer these questions. When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? And you should know it's July 4th, 1776. I come over to B and I hit confirm. And then I've moved on to number 3. And this one's a little different. It says, who was the first president? You actually have to type it in here. So there's your demonstration of being able to write English. And so you would put in, of course, George Washington here. Now, life sometimes gets in the way with us adult learners. So sometimes we have to pause it. And we're going to hit pause. And we could return to the test, or you can hit pause test, and it'll kick us back out. But then when we go back in, we would be able to go right where we stopped. And we could review other questions as well, but you can go right back or bookmark exactly where you are. So once again, I got there by going to eBranch, going to Testing and Education Reference Center, and then I put my mouse over the word international, and then I clicked on U.S. citizenship, and that's where these two resources showed up. So you have the ebook, it's always available, and you have the practice test that you can start and pause and come back to if you need to. All right. Now we have enough time, I do believe, to go to one more website that we have not talked about yet, and that is Universal Class. Now, Universal Class does have over 500 courses, and all of these subjects, I mean, accounting, personal development, pet and animal care, finance, self-help, all of these are right here for you. There's how-tos, do it yourself, there's writing skills, math skills, there's all sorts of things. But for our purpose today, we're going to go ahead and sign in. And my sign in is already there. And I want to take a course, so I'm going to come up here to the course catalog. Now, once again, before this process, we would have had to log in and create a user profile, and very, very simple. Just have a username and a password, and then there you go. You're in universal class. We're going to click on course catalog, and we're going to type in right here, U.S. citizenship. And I forgot the Z, so let's go back. I did that a little bit too quick, and I'm going to hit search. And the one result shows, and it's U.S. citizenship test preparation. We're going to click right here. And you'll notice this actually has 7 lessons. There's 26 exams and assignments. It takes a typical person about 5 hours to complete all of these lessons. And this is a course description. It will help you prepare for to become a U.S. citizen. There's some related content here. Remember, we were talking about government, we're talking about history and civics, and here's some information right here. There's American government, and it even tells you how many hours that might take. But here's the course lessons. Here's those 7 lessons that they're going to go over with you on in universal class. First one, what becoming a citizenship means? What does it mean to become a citizen? And the whole process of applying for citizenship. And you'll follow the lesson, you'll discuss the 3 steps in the process of becoming a citizen. And of course, you will also how to prepare for the test, practice that reading and writing English, the civics review, the history review, and of course, the geography review as well. And here are the learning outcomes that you're going to have. So you'll demonstrate and practice reading and writing English. It'll tell you how to prepare for the test. You'll demonstrate mastery of content over 70% or higher. So let's go ahead and say we're going to accept this course. So we just have to come up here. It is self-paced and an online course. So we're going to say join this class or join this course. And we click right here to join this class. We're going to confirm. And there we are. And we just enter the site by enter the course right here. And see how it's going to take me. There's a worksheet. There's 3 worksheets in lesson 1. And then there is what citizenship means. So I view the lesson. And what's great about this is there's all this great reading right here about citizenship. And all of this information and words are highlighted, due process. And here is some of the same information we went over earlier that was directly on that website. And then there is some other things that we need to do. Reading the optional lesson articles. We have to read this article. We have to take this short survey. And then after we've done all of these activities, we've read all that information, we're going to do these worksheets, and then we're going to submit our exam for this. So this is right here for you, and it really is helpful. You can go right to the activities, you can discuss, you can print, you can move on to the next thing. But it's going to say, nope, you can't move on because you have to submit these. So I'll have to go back to the first lesson. So it's only going to open up, each one of those lessons will open up after you have completed all of these assignments at the bottom. And what's great about this service as well is there's actually an instructor that will give you some feedback along the way. So when you turn in your assignments, they will look at it, they will grade it, and then when it comes to the writing sections, they will actually write you back through your email, through the message center, and find out how you're doing in your class. So I highly recommend this because it really is going to go step by step in more of a formal classroom setting, if that is something that you'd really like to do. Once again, it only said it took about 5 hours for the average individual, but it's also something you could start and you could maybe go to the activities. You could maybe read all of that and do these first three, and then hit pause, exit out of it, and then the next time you have time, you could come in and finish the rest of this assignment, and then it would open up to lesson number 2. So I highly recommend this website. I think this is a really good way, a really good tool to use. So once again, if we want to find that, we go to the main site. We go to eBranch all the way down to eLearning. This is where the Adult Learning Center has their information. The Testing and Education Reference Center is here. And then Universal Class is right there, the last one. So let's stop right now and get back and see if you have any questions. Thank you for watching today's Lunch and Learn. Don't forget, you can reach out to us at ALC at CincinnatiLibrary.org, and we'll be happy to help you with any of those. If you want information about ESOL for everyone through our Zoom virtual classrooms, let us know. Next Tuesday, my cohort, Lois, will be back with more help with Brain Fuse Job Now, and she's going to be talking about job interviews, and that's very important in today's world. And then I'll be back next Thursday, May 14th, with some of our resources to help with anyone who needs a little bit more help and instruction on Microsoft. So thank you very much. Sorry about the technology difficulty earlier, but we're good to go. You have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.